Prabhu talked about how this fresh grains and everything is very important. Fresh flour is very important.
Oh, you can see that. Okay.
My husband and I, we bought this grain mill. We were lucky to get it on Craigslist for $45, but the new one costs about like $230. So there are different. And if someone can record, because
Ma'am, it's recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there are a lot of grain mills in the market. There are some which are stone. They're called burrs. The things that get together. So there are those with stone burrs. That in India you have that kind of a chakki, but you have that also mechanized and motorized. And then this one is with steel burrs. So this is called an impact mill. And then the one with the stone burrs goes like this. They usually say that the stone burrs is better because it doesn't heat up the flour. This one they say is not so good. But for me the price was very attractive, so I got it. And and then there are different attachments also you can get. Like if you all have a KitchenAid mixer, or you have that juicer, the Champion juicer, there are attachments that you get to fit on the Champion juicer or on the KitchenAid mixer that are cheaper than buying a grain mill. But those are in steel burrs. But you can just get those attachments and also try it out. And then the difference between the stone burr and the steel burr is of course the heating part. And then also the stone burrs need regular maintenance. Because you have to, once they lose the roughness of the surface, you have to keep hitting it again to do it. Also, now there are some controversies on the web on whether those stone burrs are really stone or they are like some compact concrete, all of those things. So people are concerned that those kind of things will fall into the flour. Anyway, this is what I have. And there are online, I would recommend if you're buying a stone mill, there are a lot of online, if you go on Craigslist and eBay, there are a lot of older mills, like it's called Miller Mix, or it's called, they are like mostly with a wooden body, hand constructed wooden body, and then the burrs are there inside. So there are some of these like that. I checked a lot in Seattle on Craigslist to get the stone burrs, but it's not so easily available.
How do you spell it, burrs? Stone
B-U-R-R-S.
B-U-R-R-S.
Burrs. I hope I'm saying it right. And so those. Another thing you could do is if you're traveling outside and you're going by the road, if you're going towards eastern Washington, or some people go to Idaho or to towards Boise, like some of you travel, or even Northern California. Oregon has a lot of people selling mills, online on Craigslist. Usually, if you see the people who are Mormons, and where there are a lot of Mormon congregations, they also have these people who are factories that are making those mills and selling. And the best stone mill is called as a Retsel, R-E-T-S-L, S-E-L, but that's about $600. It doesn't make any noise, and it's very slow, so the flour doesn't heat up. So even if they say that the stone burr doesn't heat up the flour, still, I was watching a lot of online videos, still they were testing the temperature and all, still heating up. So for me, this $45 was really good. I thought let me experiment and let's try it out and start with it. This is an 8-year-old mill. It was used by another Indian lady, and she was selling it in Medina. And there are different. Do you want me to talk about?
Just one second.
Okay. So maybe I can just tell you what motivated me to get this mill. I was reading up, and also from Prabhuji's class, and what Prabhuji has been teaching us for so many years. So the flour that you buy, if you're into eating chapatis, the flour that you buy in the Indian store is mostly coming from India, it's coming from Canada. If it's coming from India, you don't know when the flour has been ground and how many months it has been just lying and being transported and all. So you can take a guess, it would be like 3 to 4 months old. Now there are different things about the flour. There's one of the devotees over here, and his father is like the head of used to be the head of the Department of Agriculture in Hisar, Haryana. And I was talking to uncle about this, and then what he told me is that the flour that you get, one thing is that if you look at just wheat flour, it has the bran, like the wheat berry has a bran, and the inside is called the endosperm, and then it has a germ from which the new plant can come. So what they do in the flour that you get is they remove the bran. And why do they remove the bran? Like first I used to think, what money are they going to get, because removing is difficult. So what happens is the bran has the essential oils. And if the flour is on the shelf for too long, then the flour starts going rancid. I don't know if you've noticed in your home, if the flour is stayed, sometimes you get, at least I get like rice flour and this flour, so many flours. After a few months, if I open the box, there is this old oil smell. So that, the flour doesn't get spoiled or, it doesn't get the bad smell, they remove the bran. They also remove the germ. And what they usually give you is just the endosperm. And that also they refine it like 3 times. It goes to 3 times refining. So you're only eating starch. All the essential oils are gone. And it's not very helpful. So when we were in Udupi also last year, the doctor told us that, one thing very important is to have fresh flour for your health. And he also said that the number 1 cause of diabetes in India is people are eating fresh grain and old flour. And he said it should be the reverse. It should be old grain, like aged grains, and fresh flour. So that motivated us to get it. And I think this is a pretty quick, like whenever Prabhu wants, we can give you a demo. But this is a pretty quick system.
I would just want to add that actually that Ayurvedic doctor, he was quoting from shlokas.
Yeah.
From the way where he actually talked about Nava Annam. He said Nava Annam means new grain is the cause of the disease like diabetes.
That's what's written
They
in
should be kept for a year like that before you. So grain should not be new. Grain should be kept. That's why in older days, when they would keep the grains, they will have the big thing where they'll put at the top, but they'll take out from the bottom because what's at the bottom is older.
So we used to store, even at home, we used to buy a year.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Prabhu has to do something here. I'll just let you know a little bit more. I was also talking to my mom, and I'm sure we all can have experience talking to our parents over here also. So my mother grew up in Punjab, and we're Rajasthani, so a lot of bulk of her relatives were also in Rajasthan. So during her summer vacation and winter vacation, when she used to go to visit with her mother to the, to visit the relatives, so she would feel very uncomfortable eating the food over there. And the reason was that in Punjab they were used to eating wheat, but in Rajasthan people were still eating bajra, millet. We have some form of millet here, but in Rajasthan everyone was still eating millet. And then she said that only the guests would get like wheat chapatis because wheat was very expensive in Rajasthan and overall in India also at that time. Yeah, but what happened is, and that's why people had good health. And what she said is that because of this green revolution that happened in India, I'm sure we've all studied about that, and it was glorified so much. Wheat became cheaper, and the prices of millet, all kinds of millet and other things became expensive. If you go and buy right now, even here, wheat is cheaper than millet. And Prabhu, I think he's going to talk about it, at least he mentioned last time also, like that the wheat is not really good for your body. But now what's happening is everyone, at least in the, I don't know how it works in South India, but at least in North India, a lot of people are eating wheat. And it's like, I personally feel, I don't have any data to support, but maybe that's why I'm just surrounded by so many people, news of so many people getting cancer and so many other different types of diseases that modern medicine doesn't have an answer for. Right, Prabhu, you were talking about wheat? Yeah, this is all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you be doing a demo of grinding?
Yeah, Prabhu has.
Hare Krishna. So we're going to cook millet first. This is whole organic millet. There's small seeds. And this is usually bird food in the United States. It's sold in Petco for birds. But millet has been their staple diet in South India, in the villages, and also in Africa, in the poor villages. And we spoke last week about, last time I spoke about a lady in Nigeria, in Kenya, who lived to be 144 years old. I met her nephew, and I asked him what she was eating, and he said, eating millet. She couldn't afford anything else in the village. And she was healthy right up to the end of her life. So here we have 2 3/4 cups of water, and now we're going to put in 1 cup. Well, actually, these are 4 cups, but we'll just use 1 measure. So we're going to put it in the boiling boiling water. And we're going to let it cook. Millet takes a little bit longer to cook. It's a little harder grain. And then to make it tasty, because it has a tendency to dry once it gets cool. And usually in the villages they make a soupy millet, but we'll make it somewhat dry, and we'll do some special things to it. Now today the subject is the carbohydrate meal. During the alkaline diet seminar that we gave a couple weeks ago, we explained that you should separate an in order to have an alkaline diet, you need to separate the proteins and the carbohydrates and sugars. You cannot eat them at the same meal, especially if you're healing. Let's say you have a sickness and you want to boost your immune system to address the sickness naturally with your body, then you have to, you don't have to, but it's very highly recommended that you stay on an alkaline diet. Now, alkaline diet is you eat foods that after digestion is finished, or as much as possible, there's no alkaline residue left in the intestines. So when you eat fried foods, there's always no acid residue left in the intestines. Whenever you eat fried foods, there's definitely an acid residue. Whenever you drink coffee or tea, there's definitely an acid residue. Whenever you eat white flour products, there's definitely an acid residue. Whenever you mix carbohydrates and proteins and sugars at the same meal, there's an acid residue. That acid residue slips or goes into your bloodstream and destroys the natural pH of the blood, which is slightly alkaline. When that happens, your body catastrophically leaches out calcium from your bones to neutralize the acidity. This is the major cause of osteoporosis in women. It's a major cause of arthritis and rheumatism and gout in everyone, men and women. Men also get osteoporosis. Osteoporosis means your bones become porous, they become weak, because the calcium is being leached out on a regular basis. And the body does it naturally in order to maintain the pH balance of the blood. Same thing happens in the mouth. When you drink coffee, it leaves an acid residue, and your saliva is slightly alkaline. Therefore, if you don't do anything to correct it, you have serious tooth problems. Cavities are not caused by germs. They're caused by alkalinity. Acidity. Once the acid in the mouth attacks the enamel, it begins to break it down. And when it's broken down enough, then the bacteria get into it. So, dentists never tell you that, but that's the fact. They always say floss, but everybody's flossing, they still have to go to the dentist. So, floss may be good in one sense, but it doesn't address the real reason why there are cavities. Cavities are caused by acidity. And as I said, the normal pH of the saliva is slightly alkaline, and the normal pH of the blood is slightly alkaline. Therefore, if you eat a meal in which you mix dal, rice, and at the end you eat some gulab, or sweet rice, you have basically been, let's say, disloyal to your own body. And what will happen is, if you do that once a week, let's say, okay, that's all right. But if you do it every day, you will definitely have serious problems as time goes on. You don't get serious diseases overnight, but over a period of 10, 20 years, you begin to have serious digestive problems. In fact, little kids are the worst, because they mix candies, cakes, pies. They eat rice and dal all the time, and that's why they have a tendency of getting sick all the time, because their digestive system cannot handle it. In your stomach, you have natural hydrochloric acid, which is necessary to digest proteins. But proteins take time to digest. So if you mix in carbohydrates and sugars in the same meal, just imagine this. You take a bowl like this, right? And you put rice, and you put dal, then you put some birthday cake, then you put some candy on top of it. All that gets mixed into your stomach, and your stomach has to digest these things, right? So it takes much longer to digest the proteins than the carbohydrates. But then if you add the sugars, then it stops the whole process, and the food never digests. Then you get undigested food that goes into the intestines, and it putrefies them. Therefore, there are bad smells, and then this type of